So, vinyl community, it's your boy Chris, coming at you as always, live from the man cave. I'm doing a lot of giveaways lately, been having a lot of fun with them. There seem to be a ton up in the vinyl community right now, and they all offer their own cool thing, and I'm having a lot of fun with them, and I just kind of don't want to stop. The video here that I'm about to do is for a Hot Wax and Cool Vinyl 200 subscribers giveaway contests. Congratulations on that, my friend. 200 subscribers. Cheers to you. Congratulations. His particular stipulations, I know he thought that they were very simple. It's his 2020 giveaway is what he's calling it. And that's basically a $20 gift card or PayPal plus $20 to a charity of your choosing. And that second part meant a lot to me. You know, $20 is cool and everything like that, but the charitable aspect of it, I feel like I really wanted to get in on that. But it's his 2020 giveaway, and that's the name of it for that reason. And his stipulation, what you got to do is you got to follow, obviously. You got to subscribe, and you got to make a video response, and he's just got to know that you've made it, and you know, and then he's got to see it. But another thing that I love so much about it is you guys who subscribe to me know that I love to tell stories. I love storytelling. It's a great thing. It's one of the very few gifts I have, so I don't really like to waste it. But it's 2 albums that bring you back to a certain place in time is what he's going for. Which, you know, might seem like a simple thing to most people, but I love it. I particularly love it. So, diving right in without wasting too much time, I know he's going to have a lot of entry videos to watch. First one I'm going to lead off with might not seem like the most miraculous album in the world. I mean, in fact, it's a compilation. It's Journey's Greatest Hits. And why this is so important to me is my family has a pontoon boat, and I am a South Carolina boy. I've been born, raised, I've grown up and lived my entire life in this wonderful state of South Carolina. And I've been on every body of water in South Carolina. I've been on every body of water in North Carolina. And my family has a pontoon boat. It's been a huge, huge, huge part of my life. I can even remember one of the very first memories of my life is actually going with my mom and dad to buy this pontoon boat, our very first one. And I can describe it. My mom and dad are like, no way, you have to, you know, be pulling that out of somewhere. We went to go buy that boat in like 1988. You were like 3 years old. I remember everything. I remember vividly. I love this thing. I love this boat, and I love these memories. I love these bodies of water, and I will forever cherish them. But my mom and dad, particularly my dad, huge Journey fans. And pontoon boat we rode on, you know, back in the day had a cassette player. And then cassette player was gradually updated to CD player, you know, which has now been updated to, you know, USB, yada, yada, yada. But in one format or another, this has been a consistent my entire life on this boat, up and down plenty of bodies of water, especially in the state of South Carolina. My favorite time of night to go for a ride on a boat is late at night, 10, 11. Everybody else has called it a day. They've been out on the lake all day. They've all went home and had dinner. They've put their kids to bed. They've called it a night. Not my family. We're out. We're one of the only boats on the lake. It's the way we like it. Lights on, radio up, cruising with no particular destination in mind, and nobody gives a damn. We're barely speaking to one another outside of just sitting back, the cool breeze of the summer air on our backs, and enjoying each other's company and singing these songs as loud as we can and just having a damn ball. And I love it. And I can, every time I hear Journey, every time I hear this record, every time I hear every Journey song, period, it takes me back to this place in time. It takes me back to, well, not necessarily this place in time, but my entire life of memories cruising on this lake. And, you know, Only the Young, Don't Stop Believing, Faithfully, oh man, Loving, Touching, Squeezing, Open Arms. I love these songs. Steve Perry had the gift of God from a vocal perspective. And I was so thrilled to see Journey get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, even though I know a lot of people I know think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a joke. But for a lot of these bands who got shit on critically for so much of their careers, it's a great vindication, you have to think. So I'm always happy to see these bands in particular. Like if you're the Beatles, you don't need that vindication. Everybody already knows you're the shit. You don't need it. But if you're like Journey and you're, you know, some of these other bands, you know, Bon Jovi, which again, I mean, I have no problem. If you're these bands and the critics have, and the hardcore fans have shit on you your entire careers, it's a nice act of vindication to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I was very happy to see them get in for that reason alone, even though I don't really like any of their albums individually. I love the Greatest Hits Volume 1 and Volume 2 compilations. It always takes me back to that pontoon boat on any body of water on any particular night in the state of South Carolina, cruising 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, with no particular destination in mind, just having a blast. And these are memories I'll cherish forever. And I'm a young man, and I got a 2-year-old daughter, and I plan on taking her out on these bodies of water and having her have these same memories because I cherish them. They mean a ton to me. So, number 2 on this, I also picked another compilation. I apologize. There were several other ways I could have went with this, but this is one. Creedence Clearwater Revival Chronicle. 20 greatest hits. And when they say 20 greatest hits, they damn mean it. Susie Q, I Put a Spell on You, Proud Mary, Bad Moon Rising, Green River Commotion, Down on the Corner, Fortunate Son, Traveling Band, Who'll Stop the Rain. I mean, oh my goodness. This freaking band, John Fogerty, put out some freaking hits, dude. So many hits. And the places that this takes me back are basically every cookout I've ever had with my family ever in my life, and every cookout that I threw for my friends after I moved out of my family's house. Because what do you want to go for if you're a host of one of these events? You want to go for an album loaded with hits, something that everybody loves. You're not trying to throw on Radiohead at a family cookout. Not everybody loves Radiohead. I'm one of them. I don't like Radiohead at all. Congratulations on their success and for everybody who does like them, but they're not my speed. But that's not what you're going to throw on, because I know plenty of people who feel the same way I do. You want to throw on CCR. Everybody likes Creedence Clearwater Revival. I've never heard anybody shit on Creedence Clearwater Revival. Ever, and for damn good reason. These are some great songs. A few years back, I had a buddy invite me to go see CCR with him, and it was the same week as Paul McCartney, and my wife and I had already spent a ton of money on Paul McCartney tickets. And it's like, I love you, John, but not as much as I love Paul McCartney. So I missed out on that show. Maybe I'll catch him next time around. But anyway, it takes me back to every family cookout, every 4th of July cookout at the lake. Again, the boat trips on the lake. It takes me back to our gender reveal party that my wife and I threw to announce the gender of our daughter, CCR cranking, to my 30th birthday party, which coincidentally is the only birthday party I've ever had. My wife threw a 30th birthday party for me, and it's like my turntable's out and everybody's hanging around, and my wife's like, "You gonna get us some music?" And I'm like, I gotta get that fire that everybody loves. I gotta go get that CCR. So I go get this, throw it on, brings the house down. I think we ended up playing a couple times through because, again, everybody freaking loves CCR. Everybody. And if you don't, well, damn it, you should. So those are my 2 albums that bring me back to a special place in time. And I want to, on a side note, I told you in the lead off that the charitable aspect of me, of the giveaway, is a lot of what drew me in, besides just an excuse for me to tell stories and run my mouth, because you guys know I like to do that. In the event that I win, I would like my $20 to go towards the American Cancer Society in the event that I'm able to pull this out. This charity means so much to me. In the last 3 years, I've lost both my paternal grandfather and my maternal grandmother. to this terrible disease. I watched my grandmother fight it like hell for a couple of years, beat it, then have it come back and beat her down for 2 or 3 more years, only to finally take her because she had nothing left. She had nothing left. She's one of the nicest people that I've ever been fortunate enough to have in my life. Major, major, major figure in my life. She's the cornerstone of my mother's family. Of my mother's side of the family, she was the cornerstone. And it ain't the same without her. It hadn't been the same without her. Christmas hadn't been the same without her. Thanksgiving hadn't been the same without her. It's just not the same without her. And I never heard her say a bad word about anybody. She's a great person. She was a wonderful grandmother. I loved her with all my heart. I still do love her with all my heart. No reason to change that now. I can remember shopping trips. Me and my brother being, tagging along with my mother and my grandmother on shopping trips. And I remember she used to chain smoke these Winston unfiltered cigarettes. Light up one, smoke it until it was gone, and use the old one to light up another one. And it was, to this day, because of that, cigarette smoke doesn't bother me, even though I've always been a non-smoker. And for any of you guys, I don't know if some of you are going to watching this are going to be, familiar with Ryan's Steakhouse, the buffet style, before the Golden Corral. Ryan's, that was her favorite restaurant in the world. So shopping trips with my mom and grandmother were Ryan's Steakhouse, like maybe Walmart or Bi-Lo or whatever. Some of you might not know what I'm talking about, depending on what part of the country you live when I'm talking about a couple of these places. And they were the greatest, and you wouldn't expect kids round about our age to really appreciate it, but if nothing else, we got to go to this buffet and pig out. And subsequently, coincidentally, I don't know, now I don't like buffets, but when you're a kid, you don't think about all this other stuff. But because it's a vinyl community video, I want to show one that makes me think about my grandmother. It's Loretta Lynn's Coal Miner's Daughter. My grandmother loved Loretta Lynn. Very, very much so. I want to say she was her favorite, but she loved Loretta Lynn. And when I think of Loretta Lynn, I think of my grandmother. And I always have. This is the one that always takes me back to any time I spent with my grandmother. That I was fortunate to spend with my grandmother. I didn't lose my grandmother until I was in my early 30s. So not very many people can say that. I got a lot of friends lost their grandparents when they were 10 or younger. And I had all mine up until 3 years ago. And now times have gotten harder, unfortunately. So my grandmother. And now for my paternal grandfather that I lost a couple of years ago. My grandfather was the nicest man and toughest son of a gun I ever met in my life. He fought hard. He fought for his family coming back. They had, 4 kids, my dad being, the next to youngest of the 4. The work ethic, insane. The love for his family, insane. The love for his grandkids, insane. He used to pick us up from school. We'd spend all of our summers at my grandmother and grandfather's house. And, after he retired, he was there with us. And we watched cartoons, and we watched Andy Griffith. And he would take us to McDonald's and Burger King. And he would, give us a few dollars a piece when we went to Kmart, which my brother and I would use to buy basketball cards or baseball cards. Or, for me, sometimes books. And it would be for no reason. And, it'd be no reason. It'd just be because he loved us. And I just think of him as a kind and giving and sweet, one of a kind, once in a lifetime individual. And I miss him. I miss him every day. And unfortunately, after a 3 or 4 year fight for him, we lost him too. The year after my grandmother. And cancer's a terrible disease. This record in particular makes me think of him. If you guys can see. So 45. It's a 7-inch Janis Joplin. Me and Bobby McGee on the A side, Half Moon on the B side. I don't own very many 7 inches. Most of the ones I have were handed down to me from my family, from my mom and dad, grandparents. This was his personal copy. My grandfather really, really liked Janis Joplin a lot, and so this belonged to him. And it's old and it's been well played, and it doesn't play particularly well, but it doesn't matter. It was his, and that's enough for me. I really, really like it. I really, really cherish it. It's a prized piece of my collection. And so this is basically the last couple of things you guys have heard me talk about are the main reason that this particular giveaway means something to me, in particular. So I just want to say, once again, reiterate that I would, in the event that I were to pull off this win, you know, I would like to donate my 20 to the American Cancer Society. And good luck to everybody who has entered this contest. And I got to be honest with you, if I don't win, then I only pray that the winner is also donating their 20 to the American Cancer Society. We got to get this beat. I've lost too many good people in my life. From my grandmother and grandfather to my 30-year-old friend to another 32-year-old friend. We shouldn't be burying people that young for cancer. We shouldn't be. I don't want to bury anybody for cancer. It's a terrible, terrible disease, and all it does is just break people down. You know, my uncle battled cancer for 6 years. It took his life. My mother's brother. Cancer has really torn a huge, irreparable hole in my family, and I hate it, and it needs to go away forever. And I wish I could donate $2 million, but anyway, I digress. I just would like to congratulate you, my friend, for the 200 subscribers. Cheers to you. I really like your channel. I stumbled on it recently. I really like your channel. I like what you do. I love the giveaway, and specifically, I really love the charity match. That's a great idea, my friend, and kudos to you, and thank you for putting on this challenge and putting on this giveaway. And once again, cheers. Until next time, until next video, keep dropping that needle, you guys.